friends, welcome to Aishu's DIY. Today we will design a necklace using Sam's Bead box for the subscription for the month of April 2023. I pulled out this dark colors from the box. All of these 8mm gemstones and this black flowers and this green metallic leaves, and also this cathedral shaped beads like this transparent with a gold finish, and also this gemstone and the two maple leaves which is in green color. We also have something in the brown, and I just want to save it for some other project. First I thought I will do this as a middle and then do the necklace on the side. Like the pattern that I am thinking that I will go with is an asymmetrical pattern, and I feel that adding a pendant would restrict the necklace, because since we have so many beads in hand, it can be a little bit longer necklace. But if we add the pendant, and then it cannot be a long necklace because the pendant is so small. Looking at it like in a geometrical way, it wouldn't be appealing is what I would say, because it is asymmetrical. Of course it won't be similar on both sides. Being said, this wouldn't be a good idea is what I'm thinking. And I also tried this red color polyester 0.45mm polyester cord, which is very thin and it goes twice, doubled through all of these beads. I checked that, and then but when I knotted it, I felt that this red is a little bit very brighter and lighter color. It just looks shabby in my opinion, so I switched to this one. This is 0.5mm thread as well. I don't know if it is polyester or not, but this one was $10.99 a spool. I got this from Amazon, and this one was way cheaper, and it is a polyester cord. Of course it's written that way. So I tried putting twice through this the leaf. It wouldn't go, but all these beads it is accommodating. So that's that. And I'm going to take about, say, and also another thing that I wanted to do is want to take a longer cord. If I separate it into two, then I can work on one side and another side. So those are all off to the window. So now I'm going to just measure this. Take a ruler, and I know it's a ridiculously long amount, but we want to work with 10 feet of cord, because we are going to double. That means we will be working with 5 feet of cord, right? So that's 1 feet. So I'm just going to double that, and then that's 4 feet, and then that's 6, that's 8, and that's 10. So that is also not quite long. So I'm gonna go ahead and use 11, probably 12 feet, and cut myself. I know it's a long cord to work with, but okay, just need to take it without any knots per se. Take the ends, there we go. So we can use a button. So I pulled out this button. This is a terracotta button. We received this in Sam's Bead box. I don't know which month they are, but we did receive those. So I'm just gonna put one strand through this button. We have to go multiple times through it because the strand is thin, obviously. Okay, so again, I'm just going again to the middle of the cord right there. That's the middle of the cord, but I want to take the strand and go through a couple of times through our button. Take this one, go from the other side. And then tie an overhand knot, just like that, with both the cords together. I'm going to go through this loop twice. So that's a surgeon's knot instead of a regular overhand knot. So I'm going to take use of my pliers right here. You know, it's a little bit long, but I went through twice, and then I'm going to go through this loop and hold these cords right against where I want the knot to be, and then come back and tighten that knot up. So just individually pull all the cords somehow, and then pull those cords. Take your pliers off and tighten that up. Still there is one thread which is, so I'm just going to take this knot off and then adjust that, and see, this is not getting tightened up anyways, so I'm just going to loosen that knot up and then figure out which one it is. Maybe this is the one, this is the guy. Yeah, that's the one. Now the knot is nice and tight, but you can see a little bit of a gap. I don't want that gap, so I'm just going to put one more knot around and make sure that knot lands above the knot that we already put and closer to the button. So make sure that it lands there and tighten that up. Okay, so that's that. So that's going to be anyways in the back. So I'm just going to go ahead and what I'm going to go ahead and do is I pulled out this mix, the bead mix that we got. This is a Togo Wonderland mix, and I poured some seed beads for myself, and this one goes through the seed beads very nicely, these 11 seed beads, this cord. So I'm going to randomly pick up some beads. because I don't want it to be a continuous pattern or so. So I'm randomly picking up some beads, and then see this, so random beads, just like that. And planning to work with both the cords simultaneously. So yep, so I'm just going to do that. And then for the other strand as well, I'm going to pick up some seed beads, exactly the number of seed beads that I have this side. I'm going to add some, and then I'm going to come back, and we're going to make ourselves some knots. So let me count the number of seed beads that I have this side, so that I end up with the same number here. So that's 5, 12. That's 5, 10, 11, and 12. So drop all of these seed beads down to our work. Just like that. And then tie an overhand knot. Take your pliers, go through the loop and hold where you want your knot to be, and then pull the end thread, and then remove this off, and then push the knot towards the beads, just like so. You can pull the individual cord so that you get the knot tight, but this is what it looks like. Okay, now I'm ready to add my beads. So I don't want this button to be in the back of my necklace, so I assume that this is going to be my, it's going to be the side on the side. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is, I know there is a lot of chance to get tangled the cord, but just make sure that you run your fingers through and don't let the cord to be knotted. Take both the strands, and then you can let me see. So you want to add this and this on the side. Okay, imagine this way. So these ones here, because I want the green to be added, but at the same time I can add this and then the green. That looks kind of nice, so I'll do that. I will put both strands through this 8mm bead and then come down. Okay, go ahead and make yourself a knot. Again, hold it with your tweezer nose pliers. You can also use your tweezers to do this, and then pull the knot down to the bead. So now you have the knot. That's that. It's an organic look, so don't force yourself with it, but make sure it is actually, Then you can add this one. I want this to face this way, so I'm going from this side to the other. You can see if you like this design or not at this point of time. If not, you can change it a little bit, but I like it. Okay, then now you figure out the pattern, which is going to be an asymmetrical pattern. So I like this, and then you can probably think about it this way. Okay, or you can do a couple of these beads and then move on to the next. So you can do section by section by section, which kind of will look good. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to take this 2 cords, put it through this cathedral bead. The hole is blocked for some reason. It's not going through, not the one strand. Let's see. It's actually fraying the cord. Managed to get these beads up, and I did some knots. I did 5 of this cathedral shaped beads with gold wash, and then I did 1 of the 8mm again. So I burnt the edges and made myself like a self needle kind of a thing with the lighter. But then again, I will have to separate it right now, so that I need to add individual beads to the individual strands. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to concentrate on these feather beads. Okay, I'm going to add feather beads. First I will start with the seed bead, probably the transparent one. So I need to cut this off so that I can easily thread in the beads. The 11 seed beads will go through this cord, so that should not be a problem. So 2 seed beads followed by this metallic bead. So this has top drill hole. That means the hole goes from side to side. So I'm just going to put that through. We're going to figure out how we are going to do this. We can do this individually, just like that. So that way you'll just have a couple of strands together, or you can knot after each bead. If you knot, then it will twist here and there. So I'm thinking of doing it like, knotting individually and not together. So here we go. So I am just going to pick up seed beads in a random fashion. I'm not going to follow any pattern here, but if you want to, please go ahead and do follow a pattern. So here we go. After 4 of these beads, 2 seed beads and this metallic bead, and then 4 of these beads, but we can also do that. Right. After this, both the strands together. Let's try. So take the next strand, and then I'm gonna cut myself at an angle. Then grab a couple of beads, drop them down. There is 5 seed beads, but that won't be enough, as you guys can see that, right? So again, how many beads do we need more? Probably 2 more. Once you figure that out once, then it's easy to continue doing the next time, but figuring that out is important. So now if you push everything together, and if you probably not here, and then this is how it will look. Probably 1 bead less would be nice. Okay, so go ahead and tie in over here knot. And make sure you don't tie it very tightly, but at the same time, this is the pattern that you have here. It needs to be moving freely. If you do it very tightly, this will be very stiff. So I like this. Now I'll continue adding the same. So right here on one strand, so now I will just figure this out. This one is on the top, this one is on the bottom. Like I add 6 beads on the top and 6 beads on the bottom, except one will be the metallic leaf and the rest will be the seed beads in a random fashion. I will continue couple of units and then I'll show you guys how it goes. Okay, hi friends, welcome back. So I finished stringing these. As you guys can see, we started with this side and then I finished this Czech glass leaves with some seed beads, as you guys can see. And then what I did was I added one of the flowers and I continued with the 8mm. So I wanted to break the pattern, so I added this green so it pops. It's an asymmetrical necklace, so there is no rhyme or reason where you can or you don't want to add, but then I actually followed the same 8mm continually throughout. I saved 2 beads just in case for the earrings, but other than that I included all the beads here. So this is what I have so far. And then from this and one more thing I did here, as you guys can see, there is a small series of knots over here. These are half-inch knots that I just created just to have some space between the flower and the 8mm, because I felt if there is nothing there, the flower won't show. It didn't gel well. So I'll show you guys exactly what I did here as well, and then you will have an idea of what I did there. So all I did was so hold this. You need something to hold on to, like that. You can do however you prefer. You want to keep that there. Okay, so we have these 2 cords, right? So we are going to do macrame half-inch knots. It's totally option. You can just tie a knot, regular knot, and it's fine. But if you want to do the one that I did, you can do so. So there is 2 cords. Take my right cords, go on top of my left, and then go underneath the cord. So this is the knot I was thinking I will use the most in this necklace. That's why it took like 12 feet of cord, but then I realized I had enough beads to work with without doing this knots, because if you do this knots it will give you additional length. So right over left, and then put it underneath that. See, you have like a 6 pattern. So that's what we want. And then since we are doing it only with one cord, as you guys know, if you do the knots on the same side, the knot will spiral. That's how I got this spiral effect here. As you guys can see, a small spiral, but it is a spiral, right? As you guys can see, yeah, that's a spiral, right? So this is what I did. So I'm going to do some of that here as well. Grab my naughty do-it-all just to hold everything in place. Just insert that a little bit so it's easy for me to work with. So take this cord, go over on the left underneath and pull through. So a couple of knots. You don't have to measure the number of knots. Once you have, like, considerable distance that you want to continue, you can do as long as you want, as less as you want. It's totally up to you. If you do just a little bit of knots, then only you will see the spiral coming off. So I would suggest at least 10 knots, so that you can take a look at the spiral that we created here. See that spiral? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep it consistent with my flower here. I'm going to do the exact same distance. Probably one more or two more would do. Yeah, that's about, say, good enough just to see the spiral right there. Now I'm gonna continue this with my cathedral beads. It's difficult to thread in the cathedral bead, not all of them, but some of them it's difficult. So I will just be patient, and then hopefully it's going in. I don't know, I'm just putting it in, doesn't feel that it's going in. It's almost through. So there is one more thing that you can do with this, is stiffen these ends by putting glue on it. That way it will be easier to go. Because this hole is big enough to accommodate 2 of these cords. So I'm sure it will go through. It was almost there. There it was almost there. I just couldn't see. Now drop that down to our work. As you guys can see, there is a little bit of a gap, and then tie an overhand knot. I'm doing the hand knotting technique. Tighten that up, hold that, and pull that down. Right, so I'm going to do a couple of this cathedral beads, and this side I did 5 of them, so maybe I will do 5 more here. This side continued by this flower, and before this flower probably I will do more of these spiral knots and then continue. So I have enough cord available in my I don't need this much cord is what I'm saying. So I will exactly tell you guys how much it took for me to do this necklace. If you choose to do it the same way that I am doing with the same set of beads, but it doesn't matter, you can do with the any set of beads. This is asymmetrical, so there is no rhyme or reason you cannot use any beads. As you guys can see, it's spraying a little bit, so I'll just use some glue on both ends and let it dry, make it stiffer for my beads to easily go through. So after 5 of the cathedral beads, I'm going to go ahead and do some of the macrame half-inch knots before the flower bead. So here we go, right over left and underneath and pull through. Two, three, four, five. So if you want, what you can do is you can go that side and come back this side and continue doing the knot right over left, underneath and pull through, right over left, underneath, pull through. You can see the spiral forming. I think that's good enough for me. So now I'm going to add again the flower bead. I'm going to do one at a time. You put one through, hold on tight so that it doesn't disturb the other one going through. And then there we go. So that's that. Okay, I come in and put an overhand knot after that first, then we are going to do a series of seed beads because we need to do a bail for this, just like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to separate these two cords and I'm going to add seed beads here, about say an inch or so, because we need to, you know, loop it around this big bead. So again, this much would be good. So I'm gonna string some seed beads and I'll meet you guys back. So I finished adding some seed beads, then I realized instead of just doing a loop like this, we can do something a little bit more fancier is what I thought. So what I'm going to do here is I'm gonna just tie an overhand knot, actually a slip knot, which is this. So if it is an overhand knot, you will make a loop and put this through this loop, and that's an overhand knot, right? So the slip knot, you do the same, make a loop, take this cord, and then instead of pulling it out through completely, you just stop it halfway. Then you will have a slip knot. When you pull this end, then the knot will come off. So that is for the security of our beads. And of course I'm gonna take about, say, hold on, the same cord. Gonna tie it here closer to my beads, and then cut myself about, say, 1 feet, 2 cords of 1 feet. Okay, I'm gonna take this. Okay, take one more peg right here. Reposition my cord. Take all the seed beads. Make sure the strands are not twisted. Go ahead and secure it. Okay. So I want to take these cords, both the cords. Okay. And then keep it underneath this. Okay. Then tie a square knot. The Q's on the piece. Okay. So I start with the Q and I push it all the way towards our flower bead. Okay. And then a P. Go on top, underneath, and through that. So this is a very simple macrame knot, the square knot. So if you guys are not aware of it, go ahead and watch my basic macrame knots video. I will leave down the description box below as well, so that you guys can take a look at it. So just one square knot. After that I push these 2 seed beads in the front. Okay, take this cord and go in the middle, the right side cord, and go in the middle and make a 1/2 inch knot, just like that. Okay, and then do the same the other side as well. Okay, and then pull the next 2 beads as I did it on the other side. I'm gonna do only so just 1/2 inch knots. We will do 2. So we went on the top and underneath and pull through. The second time we will go underneath the right hand side cord and put this through the loop, so that we will have a lockset knot just like that. So here as well, go underneath through this and then pull through. Obviously we won't need this many seed beads for this purpose, but only very few we will need. So just remove some down, move the next 2 seed beads up, take this cord, go over, under, and pull through I mean, I did only one cord, so go ahead, over, under, and pull through again. I did only one cord, so I'll do the second one as well. Okay, and pull that tight, and now under the right cord, over and through this loop. So okay, once that is tightened up, go for the left as well, over, under, and pull through, and then under, over, and pull through. You don't have to do this knot, you can just, you know, add the seed bead, and however you will make the bail if you are using a button, it's exactly what you will do for this too. If you want a little bit decorative element to it, you can do the way that I am doing it. Just 11 seed beads up in the front, go over, under, and pull through, and then under, over, and pull through. So you can do one side at a time and then finish it off that way as well. So over, under, and pull through, under, over, and pull through. The next bead, over, under, and pull through both the cords. You can use your pliers if you need help. Then under, over, and pull through. So this distance need to be as much as, I think that's good enough. So we don't need any of these beads, but don't take it off from the card. There is a decorative element that we can do. Okay, 3, 4, 5. You need 2 more seed beads on the left. No, 3 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 more seed beads on the left. I'll just zoom in a little bit more for you guys to see. Okay, I will even keep a white background underneath. Okay, so tighten that up, push that 1 seed bead up, okay, over, under the left cord, and through that loop that you created. See how there is a 6, and then pull, and then now under, over, and pull through. Push the next bead, the same thing, over, under, and pull through, under, over, and pull through. The next bead, over, under, and pull through, under, over, and pull through. So you guys can tighten that up. Both are the same. Now check if you join these two, will it fit the button? Little on the tighter side. I would suggest you take 2 seed beads and bring it down. Okay, and then take these cord, and then we have to do one more square knot, remember? So I'm doing a Q after the bead. Before doing the P, let's just check this one more time. It should be a little bit tough to go through as well. So that's good enough. So now I'm doing the P. That means, see, I'm keeping a P going on top, and then taking your pliers and fetching those two cords from underneath. Okay, one more time I will check whether my button goes through or not. Let me see. Goes through up till here, but I want the shank to go through as well, right? So then how will we? It does. So that's good enough. Now we will do one more square knot if possible. I'll make sure that I do one more, because so you can take a little over than 1 feet of cord for this purpose. That way over, under, and through this. If you do one cord at a time, it'll be easy because they both are of different lengths for me. There we go. And now I need to do a P again. Okay. Then what we are going to go ahead and do is take this off. And first of all, snip these two cords off. But before that, I'm going to tie an overhand knot in the back. With the 4 cords, that way it will be easier. I don't have to worry about them, burning the knots. Okay. And then what I will do is I will take everything and then make a overhand knot. That won't work. Actually, I have seed beads there, so I'm not going to do that. Maybe this much security is good enough, but if you guys want to do it, please go ahead and do it. So after this, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna put some glue. You can use any type of glue you want. I'm gonna put some like beadle on bead stringing glue. You can use GS hypo cement on this knot, and then drench these square knots with some glue so that it doesn't come off. Let it dry for 24 hours before you use it. I won't cut it right now. I will let it drench and then do its work. And over here, these two cords, which is long enough for us, just gonna take some seed beads. Make sure both the cords have the same number of seed beads. I'm gonna take the individual cords and then do an overhand knot. I'll go through twice, which is a surgeon's knot. It's the same as the overhand knot, but we will put the cord through the tail through twice. Go ahead and exactly hold where you want the knot to be. Go through the loop first and then pull that slowly and steadily. Remove your tweezers off or your tweezer nose pliers and then push it. Doesn't have to be exact, but it needs to be there. So again, in the same way, the other one as well. Go through the loop twice, just like that, and then go ahead and put your tweezers or tweezer nose pliers inside and hold the cord where you want the knot to be. Okay, and then pull the tail, then tighten that up, then go ahead and push that knot towards the bead. So there you go. You have that two knots. I know these ones are all in the way. Let me just trim off a little bit. I won't trim off up close because I want that glue to dry enough. So I'll just trim off a little bit, and also these two. And then I will take my lighter, burn the edges. Be very careful. Okay, so we are officially done. I want to let the glue dry before I start using these beads or this necklace. I still have a lot of cathedral beads and this flower bead and these leaves left over. I can use it in the next project. And then I have some, let me measure this for you guys so that I know exactly. I took 12 feet, I remember 12 feet of thread, but obviously you don't need 12 feet, including the one that we used for the knots to make the clasp for the button. So in essence, let me see. So 1122 inches, which is close to 2 feet. Okay, you need 10 feet of cord. That means, right? No. Hold on. So 1 feet and 1 feet and 10 inches, which will be 2 feet and 20 inches, 3 feet. So you need approximately 9 feet of cord to do this project. So that's there. Let's see how this looks. See that? This is how it looks. I need to cut that off, but you guys know I need to let that dry for 24 hours and then wear this necklace, of course. So basically this is how it will look. I hope you guys like this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification. I do upload videos couple of times a week. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye.